Joining us now is Her Royal Majesty from Umukwata, OjyOkpe, the lover of Christmas, Okpe.
You're right, lover of Christmas. Check out my
Royal Majesty.
Christmas red.
Umukwata princess.
If I cannot ginger you guys, who else will
Who ginger?
I'm still waiting for my chieftains to type.
OjyOkpe, pepper them. OjyOkpe, pepper them.
Rufai, it's Christmas. How many days to Christmas?
It's 2 days to Christmas.
Only
2 days to Christmas.
Have you made your jollof? Are you having jollof rice?
I'm having jollof, but I've put in the order.
You're putting the order. You're not cooking.
Happiness is all that matters.
That's it.
Today could have been a very sad day for me.
Yeah.
You know why?
Why?
Because today will have been my mom's birthday.
Oh, happy birthday!
But I chose not to be.
I saw your tribute to us.
I chose not to be.
Yes.
I chose to be happy.
Same. You're my mom, but your mom and my mom, we share the same month. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday to both your phenomenal mothers.
Yes, it's great.
Keep the happiness on.
I'm glad it's Christmas, but again, Nigerians in 3 different locations are not going to be celebrating. Really sad times in Nigeria. Well, good morning to you viewers. Let's begin what's trending with reactions trailing the death of more than 70 Nigerians who died in stampedes in 3 different locations, Ibadan, Anambra, and the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, in less than a week. The tragic deaths, which underscore the lack of crowd control measures at public gatherings, have been addressed by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who over the weekend cancelled his scheduled events in Lagos to honor the victims. In a statement posted on X, the president noted the disturbing resemblance between the mishaps at the Holy Trinity Catholic Church in Maitama, Abuja, and a community center in Okija, Anambra State, as well as the tragic incident at a children's carnival in Ibadan, Oyo State. The president further directed local and state authorities not to tolerate operational lapses by organizations and corporate bodies involved in charitable and humanitarian activities. Well, 22 people died in Anambra State, while 15 died in Abuja during rice distribution events to celebrate Christmas. Let's take some tweets. This is from Ben, who wrote, "Until the government takes responsibility and prioritizes the safety of its citizens, these avoidable incidents will persist. Instead of assembling people for a few cups of rice, why not collaborate with banks to identify the poorest or utilize the social register to credit them directly? Why should people lose their lives simply because they are hungry and searching for food? It reflects poorly on the government. While they may claim they aren't directly responsible, where crowds gather, what contingency plans are in place to handle emergencies? Our leaders are quick to allocate funds for luxury cars, planes, or yachts, yet there are no functional emergency services to respond in times of crisis." I really liked Ben's tweet because, it sums up the whole conversation that we've been having here for the past 3 days. And I also wanted to highlight the point that he made about these sort of distributions. There are so many philanthropists now that, they do send, money directly to the beneficiaries. There's no need for all this sort of display because they want to post it up on whatever their foundations. Sometimes, times like this, you can actually use the banks to usher in your philanthropic efforts. Well, let me take another tweet. This is from Okpara, who wrote, "We must address the issue of hunger and poverty in the land. No people become prosperous through handouts and charity, which is the reason I'm against charity. In truth, no African nation have developed through charities and handouts from developed nations. The Tinubu administration must be stopped from weaponizing poverty as a way to instill civil obedience. Federal government must call for national mourning and ensure such tragedy is not on repeat." We've seen pictures everywhere before the tragedy struck in Anambra State. I did see a picture from the Leadership newspaper where people, were queuing for palliatives. You can pull up those pictures. And it did appear that there were security forces in place. And, we saw on Saturday morning before that Stampede, that O.B. Jackson event, it appeared that, there was some sort of organization. There were security forces in place before the distribution began. So, it all boils down to the fact that we're not able to organize these events in a strategic manner to avoid the needless loss of lives. Rufai.
So, couple of things. I was here when I said it will happen again last week. And it did happen again. And it wasn't because I was swearing or I wanted disaster to happen. It's because I know that culture will eat strategy for breakfast. And we have a culture of not effectively managing crowd. And it's not even only in the rural areas. Even the big events. We have a culture of not effectively managing crowd. So, until we now start to bring about a change to that culture, they will not go further. And IU had given very simple suggestions like what the Lagos State government does, where there's a safety commission that can look at the situation and what is happening. So maybe this will lead us to that. Secondly, Oji, charity is a good thing. Mm-hmm. I'll tell you something today. Do you know that most of the Western nations people run to, their government does charity for the citizens to be able to subsidize their living? Britain, France, in fact, the French budget, it takes a sizable part of the budget. Even America, a sizable part. Obamacare, what is it? Medicaid, what is it? These are projects.
The NHS in itself is...
The GI Bill, what is it?
Yeah.
Because
so
it was through the GI Bill
right.
that a lot of people went to school.
Yeah.
See, during COVID, America gave two things. They gave a furlough scheme, which was to pay the bills of those, their workers' salaries. They also gave food. But the way they did their food, so those that are saying don't give food to sure, no, you have to give food. Yes. Because there are some people that is the food that is more pertinent to them. Yeah. The money will not be able to get them the resource. It's the food. They can
buy the food with the money now.
No, it's not that easy.
Oh, really?
And I'll tell you why, Oji. Because I'm in this space. When you buy in bulk, you buy cheaper. You can get better mileage than when you buy one in the market.
But don't you know a price of a bag of rice? If you're going to give out a bag of rice, just give them the amount of money for the bag of rice. Sometimes it could be... So let me say something, Rufai. I love your point. I'm not disregarding your point. It's completely apt. But the point is, it's not just about these crowd control measures that we're seeing. There needs to be some sort of national orientation with Nigerians. Charity is great.
That's where you're going.
But Nigerians love to rush.
That's where you're going.
They're not used to this sort of distribution.
Let me now come to the political part.
About that.
O.B. Jackson have been doing this for so many years.
Yes.
But why is this here? Because the pain is times 10.
Yes.
There's a lot of pain under President Tinubu. We can't devolve that fact.
Yeah.
We do not encourage people to rush. But the pain is times 10.
Yes.
Everywhere around in the world, the government gives some form of food aid. Yes. America have a food stamp system. That's a form of charity. People still rushing with their food stamp to be able to get this food.
Yes.
But it's the planning we should now look at.
Yes.
It's the agencies of government that we should now look at that can do something as regards this and can help the people away from all of this pain and pain. My heart goes out to these people.
Really sad
but
incident. It's
not still going to stop charity. In that same Anambra, I have friends that over 15 different points which they were sharing, but there was more organization in how they were sharing. I think it's the organization. There's no how, Oji.
Yes.
A lot of people are suffering. Yes. And government, even the government that are developed, the nations that are developed, they still give some form of aid.
So we have to implement better crowd control.
Better crowd control.
Like President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has called for. Yeah. And these people didn't need to die at this point.
They didn't.
We know that, the Inspector General of Police over the weekend reacting to the stampedes in Oyo, Anambra, and the Federal Capital Territory called for, and he actually warned against unorganized distribution of palliatives and relief items in the country during the festive period. We're even talking about all of these measures. You told me about the incident in Awolowo Road just recently. We have a video just right in Ikoyi here. The distribution at the Catholic Church, They do it every time, but you can see Nigerians, they were like everywhere rushing, and there was no point. There's no organization here. And this is Awolowo. This just happened this morning, and it's still happening.
That's already on the road.
Yes.
If a car loses control, it's chaos.
The IG released a statement over the weekend, and this is happening today. So what is he doing? What is the police doing about it? We've heard of La Sema. Right, we've heard about finding ways to make sure that you register your events with them in order to avoid this sort of stampede. Really, Nigerians, this is a serious situation. In the same vein, though, the stage at a concert organized by Native Land, featuring performances by artists including Grammy Award-winning musician Wizkid, collapsed over the weekend, leaving concert goers scampering for safety. The concert took place at Soul Beach in Elegushi, Lagos State, where videos showing the moment. The stage collapse has since gone viral. Let's take a look.
This is follow. Sikalao. Better again. It happened in 2019. Bro, what?
This was such an unfortunate event. It was right before the singer Odumodu Black was supposed to perform. Reports indicate that one person died in that incident and another person lost his leg. The exact number of casualties, remains unclear at this moment. But again, we're talking about crowd control measures. What was there in place? People were scampering. My children were there, Rufai. My children attended that event, and thank goodness they left 30 minutes right before that incident occurred. And people got home maybe like 7 o'clock because of the traffic, because of it almost, there was some sort of stampede at that moment. There was nothing there. There were no ambulances. There was no road, safety measures. There was nothing for these young people who went out to just celebrate Christmas. Again, we're calling, I'd like your comment before I take this next story.
Okay, so the incidents that happened in the last few days, including this stage collapse, is a red flag that we have a health and safety challenge as a nation. We have a challenge around not just crowd control, but being able to maintain safety standards when you have whether small, to be honest, or large events. And this is, the fact that it's happening back to back is a strong signal that something needs to be done and done very quickly. This Native Land concert that the stage collapsed, this is not the first time. In 2019, it happened the same way. So it means that they didn't learn a lesson from that. It's not only in Nigeria that we have concerts where tragedies happen. In Sugarland in the United States of America in 2011, the stage collapsed. Sorry, Sugarland was performing in the United States when the stage collapsed, and it killed a number of people there. But it set off a chain of reactions such that they were able to investigate that the rig that was used did not meet safety standards. We need to investigate who the vendor for this particular event.
Information that this has happened at that same event
many
years ago.
Yeah, that's what she just said. It happened. At the same event. That's what I'm saying, that we didn't learn anything. So the incident happened, it repeated itself again. So it means that safety standards, because what happens, a lot of people want to cut corners. You have specifications, you understand, it's the same thing that happens with building collapses. You understand what is needed, especially as an engineer or the people, experts who are there building the stage for capacity. You know the number of people that it cannot exceed this number of people on the stage at the same time. You have heavy equipment on stage, the drums, the equipment, they're all on stage. You know the capacity of your stage, but in order, you keep testing, we keep pushing and pushing. And that's because there's no clear set out rules of engagement when it comes to things like this. Whether it be for crowd control, whether it be for events like this where it's outdoor. This was outdoor, it was at the Legushi Beach.
I mean, they had huge name musicians there.
Like they hold the concert every year. So this should open our eyes, and this happened in Lagos State, by the way, which has the Lagos. So even in places where you have the Lagos Safety Commission and all that, what you said is very apt. Whereby even after the incident has occurred, there are no emergency services to respond to reduce the number of people who die at such, disastrous events like this. Look at, did you see the guy jump off the stage?
Yes.
This could have easily turned out even worse if there was a stampede afterwards. So what I would just say is that organizers have a role to play, absolutely. And organizers ought to be held responsible if it is found out that they were cutting corners or didn't follow the proper procedures for an event. Then the government has a responsibility to play. When you have rules and regulations in place, you must ensure that there are people who can enforce it. So that if you get to an event and you see that they are breaking rules, you shut down that event. The lives of people are more important than a little money exchange of money between two people. I've seen the Lagos State Safety Commission come to events where I've been at, and they are looking to see that all safety measures have been put in place. That's why I kept highlighting. Then all states in Nigeria should take responsibility for their citizens. Don't just say that, oh, the police should come in and do. What is your measure for crowd control? We are a population of 200 million people. So I think it's important that we take this seriously, and that 70 deaths are 70 deaths too many for us to take it lightly.
So I've got a message from the Lagos State government. The Commissioner for Information sent this out. It said Lagos State calls for safety consciousness, strict crowd control at USAR. The Lagos State government has observed with serious concern the stampede during philanthropic gestures of individuals and organizations in parts of the country. Governor Sanwo-Olu sympathized with families whose loved ones were involved in the stampede. To prevent such occurrences in Lagos State, all individuals groups that intend to distribute large items in large gatherings, people are advised to seek the clearance from the Lagos State Safety Commission, which is well equipped to ensure that such events do not turn tragic. The agency has a partnership with security agencies to ensure crowd control. Individuals and groups can register their events and get clearance from the Safety Commission's platform at www.lasgsaFetyReg.com. That's lasgsafetyreg.com. Any group who flouts this measure will surely face legal consequences of its indiscretion. The government has activated all safety mechanisms following a directive from the governor, who has summoned a meeting with all of the safety agencies. Besides, Governor Sanwo-Olu has directed the ongoing advocacy against fire and flooding and among others should be strengthened. And this is being a Motorsha HC information and strategy. So once again, the website is www.lasgsafetyreg, that's safetyreg.com.
Yes, that's great. Thank you so much for reading that out. I mean, it should not just happen in Lagos State. All states, every organization must make sure that they have this sort of measure in place. I mean, it's about, the police involvement is also a fire service function. Everyone has, we all have to come together to make sure that we avoid these sort of tragedy in Nigeria. 70 deaths, needless. May their souls rest in peace. Amen. Well, in another development, reactions have trailed the death of Jimoh Abdul Kadiri, a resident of Ilorin, Kwara State, who was arrested and detained for allegedly owing a friend 220,000 naira over the weekend. Jimoh's family members were informed that he had died in police custody. In a viral video taken at the deceased's house, family members could be seen crying and mourning his death. Well, on Sunday, the Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun, visited the family of the deceased in Ilorin and assured the family that the circumstances that led to Jimoh's death will be investigated.
Àbúrò mi náà pa ọmọ tábìlì mi náà pa ogun ọ̀sán ní àjọ wa mi báyìí ni. Àjọ ẹ̀ máa tẹ̀lé àtàbúrò mi tó ń ṣàwàdà. Náà wá gbé àwọn fẹ̀lẹ̀ ṣáàtà pé kó wá gbé kí. Wọ́n tàkú òbí mi. Àtàwọn tó fẹ́ gbé wá ní sí. Wọ́n tún gbowó lọ́wọ́ rẹ̀ nínú sẹ́ẹ̀lì náà. Wọ́n tún bọ́ọ̀lù àwọn jìbìtì.
Ìfẹ́rí ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ tó ṣẹlẹ̀ ẹ̀dùn ọkàn ló jẹ́ fún mi. Èmi ti ṣiṣẹ́ níbí báyìí nílẹ̀ yìí. Mo ti mọ bí àwọn èèyàn bíbá ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ sí fún mi. Bí ọmọ lèmi náà jẹ́ nílọrin. Nítorí bí ẹ ṣe receive mi nígbà tí mo ṣe commissioner mi. Kò sí ọ̀rọ̀ tá a lè sọ tó lè tù ẹ́ nínú. Kò sí irú support kan tá a lè sọ pé a fẹ́ fún yín sí tó lè mú ọmọ padà. Ṣùgbọ́n ẹ jẹ́ ká gbà pé àmúwọ́ Ọlọ́run mi.
This was really, really sad. I mean, it's good to see that the Inspector General of Police went to visit the family. But these statements where they say, accept it, it's the will of God.
It's not the will of God.
I mean, 220,000
it's not the will of God. It's not the will of God.
And there are reports that he was probably tortured.
No, it's not the will of God. It's a reflection of the sad state, the parlous state of Nigeria's affairs. It's not the will of God. Hey, John, do your law. Don't bring God into it. God is sitting down, where he is. Don't bring him into your chaos. It is the cause of people. People. It's not the will of God. It is people that cause this. Because if that man was not arrested and kept in incarceration, and only God knows what happened. You were talking about allegations of being tortured or anything. It can even be his mental health or anything. And if that man was not taken out of his comfort zone for 220,000, because if a man is taken, the best he should have done is to go and write a statement and be charged to court.
I mean, you can see that.
He was kept in incarceration. And this goes back to even the criminal justice system in this country. What Dele Farotimi has been sounding of all this while. So you put him there against his will. He dies there. You are telling me, which Abu along? Let's stop deceiving ourselves.
The woman here is saying that this, her brother, does not smoke, does not drink.
So this is also what we call. They said he was owing someone a sum of 220,000 naira. And then measures, of course. So usually what happens is that people will go and report to the police. And depending on how influential you are, you can, influence your way to keep the person in prison. And we've seen that many times. Now, whilst he was in prison, maybe they would tell them, give a little pressure him a little bit. And that's why some people are suspecting that there was torture involved. Because he went in healthy and he came out dead. What the IGP of police has said now, the IG of police has said is that the FCID, which is the Force Criminal Investigation Department, is going to look into this matter to understand what happened. It's not the will of God for injustice to happen. It's not the will of God for a 35-year-old man to die before his time. It's not the will of God to bring sorrow to a family during the festive season. It's not the will of God for people to use positions of influence to perpetrate evil. Let's be clear on that. So let us take responsibility for what's happened, investigate, and ensure it never happens again.
Absolutely. I hope this family gets justice. This young man, may his soul rest in peace. In another development, the Federal High Court in Abuja last week remanded Olamide Thomas, an activist who called for the death of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's son, Seyi Tinubu, on social media. The activist was arraigned on a 3-count charge bordering on cyberbullying. Olamide, who is also a nurse, was among the protesters arrested by the police on October 20th during the rally to commemorate the 4th anniversary of EndSARS at the Lekki toll gate in Lagos. She was also accused of insulting the Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun, and police spokesperson Muyiwa Adejobi in a Facebook video recorded after her arrest. I mean, I'm sure you guys watched this video. I was alarmed. I thought it was needless, some of the comments that she made, during, that Facebook Live or whatever it was. I mean, this is what we are seeing in Nigeria. I thought it was such a horrible statement that she made. But beyond that, what really is going on with her? I mean, comments people are being arrested for in Nigeria. Before I come to you guys, meanwhile, a footage showing the president's son, Seyi Tinubu, being escorted by military officers during the City Boy Summit in Ogun State over the weekend has gone viral and has sparked a wave of criticism online. Let's take a look.
Where's Mama?
God, provided by Nigerian Cadets Network, Oyo State Command. God, ready for your inspection, sir. Pull down, hands.
Mira. Golden Sun.
thing. I mean, no, when I saw this video, I was like, oh, this might be just boys cadets. I mean, I'm not sure that they are military, but you heard them. What did they say? Nigerian what? Nigerian cadet. Well, I don't really know what's going on. It just seems pretty absurd. But you know, on the Twitter account of the movement called, I believe, OG City Boys Movement. Let me just read their tweet. They wrote, the grand patron of City Boy Movement, Mr. Seyi Tinubu, leads the charge at City Boy Movement Summit in a powerful display of commitment to youth empowerment. The revered king of youths, Mr. Seyi Tinubu, attended and fully supported the City Boy Movement Ogun State Summit. As a renowned philanthropist and champion of youth development, his presence at the summit was a testament to his unwavering dedication to uplifting young Nigerians through his selfless efforts. He continues to inspire hope, provide opportunities, and shape the future of Nigeria's next generation. Rufy on fire.
See, I'm not saying people should not do charity to young people, but that display was not necessary. That's my part. As what now? The other day, I think it was the case with Dio Israel and all of that was wearing a fatigue and all that. And we condemned it. As what now? The son of the president? All of this? For me, it's even him. Even if they do or decide to do all of this to you, because there's no how people will always be psychopaths around you. Can't you just move off it and say you don't want? So as what? What are we building? What is this word, the cadet?
I mean, you need some sort of explanation.
Blowing a big old and all of that.
Wait, how did they get their arms? If this is City Boy Movement.
I mean,
this leaves more to be desired.
I don't know what they are. Like,
very soon now, you will hear there was going to be a counter explanation. And they're going to tell you all sorts. But the optics look very wrong. At a time where people are dying of stampede in the country.
Absolutely.
At a time where people can't afford things to eat.
Mm-hmm.
At a time where people are suffering.
Mm-hmm.
At a time where people feel that they are being twisted and people are showing a level of high-handedness in society, and this is what we get.
Absolutely.
Let me just
there needs to be some sort of response to this. Actually.
Nigeria is a democracy. It's not a monarchy.
Yeah.
It is the president that we elected, not his son, not his daughter, not even his wife. We elected the president and the vice president. I think we need to make it clear regularly so that we understand this. We are not a monarchy. We're a democracy.
Well said, Ayo. Well, meanwhile, in the midst of chaotic traffic in Lagos, especially on the island, due to the festive season, a video showing President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's convoy on his way back from observing the Jumat prayers at the Alausa Central Mosque in Okija has made the rounds on social media. Let's take a look.
Presidential.
Oh, we had other videos of this convoy where you could see like where the traffic was blocked off on the left and the right side, not at this moment. And you know, we've always talked about President Tinubu's convoy and cutting the costs of governance. But Ayo, I believe that you said that the military responded
Yes, the
quickly.
Director of Defense Information just stated that the men you see in that video with Seyi Tinubu are Boys Brigade. I sent a message to ask whether they're allowed to have arms.
Yes.
So that would also clarify a few things. Are they allowed to hold arms, to have access to arms?
Boys? Are they part of the military?
I don't know if
are they part of the military?
I don't know who they
though?
are.
We need more
Even if they are Boys Brigade, is that necessary?
Well, all right.
That's what we're asking.
Maybe it's part of the event now. Maybe it's like for
Is
show.
that necessary?
Well, all right. It's good to ask these questions.
Then can I beg the president, based on traffic, on behalf of Lagosians, we are really glad you're here, sir, but please, have mercy.
Was horrible.
Yes. Friday was a nightmare for a lot of people.
I have a video of this young woman who had, she was filming from the left, from the right. I was in traffic for 4 hours. Really, really.
Please, sir.
Welcome, City Boy.
We're just begging. This one is appealing.
City Boy.
Well, all right. All right now. We'll take another story in Lagos State. Well, the state's governor, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, over the weekend attended Lagos Boat Regatta along with members of the state's Executive Council, the 2024 edition of the Lagos Boat Regatta Festival at the 5 Cowries Creek in Lagos showcase Lagos's vibrant aquatic culture and feature the parade of more than 200 hand-decorated boats celebrating the cultural diversity of the state. Sanwo-Olu was on board the boat belonging to billionaire businessman Femi Otedola. Well, during the event, the governor emphasized the purpose of showcasing the beauty of Lagos waterways for residents to enjoy and reiterated his administration's commitment to harnessing Lagos's tourism potential to boost the state's economy. The governor was also seen dancing in this video that has now made the rounds on social media. So we now have another dancing governor.
I
love the whole story.
You know, boat regatta used to be a very important culture in Lagos many years ago, but I'm happy he's bringing it back.
Yeah.
I think, please, let it be a constant feature.
Yes.
You know what Lagos Monica used to be? The state of aquatic splendor.
Not used to be. It's still the state
but I thought it's center of excellence now.
No, it's still the city of aquatic splendor.
City of aquatic
splendor.
So, and that's why it's called Ikwaru Bisalegbelegbe. And it's named after the lake, Lago de Kuramo.
So
it's so beautiful.
I love your state.
Another thing, let's make this an international event. Let's make it attract money.
I love that. Make it attract more money. I'd love to thank you all for your great analysis, as always, on What's Trending. Well, that's all I have for you guys on What's Trending today. I'll see you all tomorrow.